Greetings, magical mavens, and welcome back for part 4 of our Winter Solstice decorating vlog series. In past videos, we've transitioned those trees from fall to winter. We've also done my Winter Solstice altar, and we just finished my Winter Solstice tablescape. Now we are tackling some of the odds and ends in the house that just need to get done before the end of December because there's still some fall stuff in here that needs to be transitioned. In this video, guys, we are finally getting around to this thing. So if you haven't already heard me complaining about it in a previous video, this is my makeshift bar cart that I made last year this time when I saw a YouTube video that made a really cute sort of Christmassy themed bar cart where they had like hot chocolate mixes and stuff like that, and it was just really cute. And I didn't own a bar cart, so I thought I would take some random pieces of furniture that I had and put them together into something that looks like a bar cart, and it was really cute for the Winter Solstice season. But once I transitioned into spring, I just didn't really stick with it, and over the past several months this has turned into literally a workstation for other seasonal projects around my house. So we are gonna finally disassemble this whole madness over here and turn it back into what it was originally supposed to be. So let's just get cozy and comfortable for this one and tackle this random miscellaneous spot in my house and make it feel more magical. So along with this little bar cart situation, we're also just going to be sort of cleaning up and tidying this whole wall. So I think I'm going to leave this up until a future video when I do create with you guys a natural winter solstice wreath, because it'll just be so satisfying to have a scene where I take this one down and put the other one up. So just ignore that for right now. But I'm gonna just deal with this whole entire area and just literally clean it up first so we have a blank canvas, and then we can envision what we're gonna be doing with it next. So at this point, you may be wondering, what is this thing? Essentially, it is 2 pieces of garbage that I have turned into a bar cart. So yes, this is a broken mirror. Quick story time. When I was first decorating the room itself and just putting all of my art and things up on the wall, I really wanted a giant mirror like this one. And so I was looking around everywhere at different thrift stores for one, and initially I found that one. And I got it home only to realize that it was just very cheap, very falling apart, and we actually had to replace the back of it. So my partner and I were like trying to lay down all this hot glue and cover up the back of it with a new board. And then we flipped it over to discover that we had broken it. It was very easy to break. So he actually ended up surprising me later that week. He ended up showing up with this epic one over here, which is like 3 times as big, much more sturdy, and just way nicer. But I didn't want to throw out the old one because I figured it could come in handy for something. So I paired it with this bar stool, which actually came out of the same pile of trash that my altar came out of. I never had any intention of actually sitting at this weird tall table, but that works pretty well as an altar in a small room. And I kept one of the bar stools to use as this thing. And over the summer, I did also end up whitewashing this so that it kind of has like a shabby chic sort of vibe to it. Now, I don't know what y'all's beliefs are about luck. I don't actually believe in luck. I believe everything is manifestation. So for me, I don't think it's bad luck to have broken a mirror or to have a broken mirror in my house. I actually think it was kind of a sign of good luck because I was like kind of from a desperate place buying this because I didn't think I could find anything better for a good price or whatever. And my partner ended up surprising me with this magical other mirror. So I kind of see this as a good sort of good luck charm. I will not have it forever. I'll probably throw it out when I move, but it's here right now and it has a purpose. So that's just a little tidbit into sort of how I decorate magically in my home and what my sort of beliefs are about good luck in the home. Okay, so as usual, if you've been around for the past few videos, you know that my custom is to lay everything down on the floor and decide what is staying out and what isn't. And of course, our little helper always has to come along and chew on the straw. I'm sure he will do that at some point if I don't pick it up. So most of this stuff is going to be put away. Now, these turkey feathers, I saw a few different ideas for decorating with pheasant feathers for the winter solstice season. So I think I'm going to put these aside and possibly use them when we make our wreath in a different video. This was actually a jack-o'-lantern face. Can you see where the face was? And I started to turn it into one of those weird looking lumpy pumpkins, but I just never ended up finishing it. So that can go away with seasonal decor for now. This straw is absolutely lovely, and I'm very excited to turn it into something. But again, I'm not really feeling too much straw for the winter solstice. We might do some straw ornaments. So I'm gonna actually take this whole little vase right here of harvested goodies, and I'm gonna put that away in the office for right now. Now this container, I don't know, it kind of has a spring, summer, fall vibe to it. Most people I think don't really decorate with these sort of like garden type things for winter, but I think I might actually work with this for this project. So let's put this one in a different pile for now. These foliage thingies can be put away for the year, but this bottle that I made might come in handy as well. So let's keep that out for now. My little pumpkins can go. These are not getting put away for the year, but they're not going to be a part of this project, so I can just put those aside as well. These guys can stay. They are good for all seasons. This bottle can come in handy. This lantern can come in handy. This is another item that will be for sale when I do get my home decor business set up. Inside of there, there's just some fall foliage and things. So let's just put this aside for now as well. And he's like, where's my straw? I was gonna eat that. These things I will probably use in a wreath. So we'll keep that out for the season. But the rest of this stuff can actually just go in with that stuff for right now to be put away. This we can use and this we can use. All right, so we've whittled it down to just these few things, all of which may or may not make it into this design, but there's still other places in the house where they can end up. So another quick little home and hearth tip from me is I don't like to let anything go to waste. So those little bits down there, that's lavender. I don't know if you can see that. There was lavender in here, but it can still be reused. So I like to use that in spell work or in candles for candle dressing and stuff like that. And then the little twigs I just throw into my composter. All right, so I've just had a little flick through my Pinterest board to get some ideas. And Full disclosure, you guys, there are so many cool ideas that pop into my head that I want to do that I absolutely know we have no time to do, especially not in this video. I was sitting there thinking about making gingerbread houses that are like made out of non-perishable materials so they could be left out and kept up year after year. I've even thought about finding like, what do you call that stuff? Is it like spray insulation or like caulking or something? But I've seen people use it to make fake like candy and cookies and stuff for like a bakery, Christmas bakery theme. Is that like Mrs. Claus's Bakery or something? I don't know. I don't celebrate Christmas, so I don't know what some of the terms are. But I thought about finding some of that stuff and actually making what's like a permanently non-perishable cup of hot cocoa with cream on top and like cinnamon. So like I'm getting all these great ideas, but we're not going to do that today because we don't have the time or the materials. So we're just going to keep it simple for now. I do think I am going to make cinnamon ornaments that look like gingerbread cookies so that I don't have to have like rotting cookies sitting on my bar cart all season, but it will look like a real cookie. I think I'm going to do that in a future video, but realistically, this is one of those days, like I said, where I just need to reach for the low-hanging fruit and not try to do anything too crazy or too time-consuming, knowing that if there's time later in the season, I can always sit down and make more things and add on. So we are going to just go around the house and grab all of the things that I feel like might be good on this bar cart, and we're just going to throw something together real quick. Now, the one thing that I did last year that I definitely don't think I want to do this year is have this be like a fully functional coffee station. I saw a really cute idea where you actually take your coffee maker, put it on the bar cart, and put like all of the drink mixes and the sugars and the teas and the cookies and the candy and all of that. And it's so cute if you actually have the proper space for that, which I really don't. It was a huge hassle to have my coffee maker moved over, and then there were like electrical cords in weird displaced places, and it was also very messy when I was actually trying to make my drinks at that space every day. It just didn't really make sense because it is slightly outside of the kitchen. So this one is going to be purely for decorative purposes. So the real purpose here is to kind of bring in that concept of having a kitchen altar. A long time ago, when I first got started with witchy and pagan lifestyle tips, I saw this beautiful kitchen altar that someone made on a blog, and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to do something like that. In the past, I think I've usually had enough space, at least somewhere in my kitchen, to have some sort of kitchen altar, but my current kitchen is just so small. And so I want to sort of bring that concept in out here in the dining room next to the kitchen. And the intention is to just bring in that sort of cozy home and hearth vibe. It's sort of just one big fun blessing spell for the home and an abundance spell to celebrate the abundance that I have and to call in more abundance into my home. And part of the abundance that I am calling into my life is a larger kitchen. So let's make some magic. So here is the loot that we are working with. So I did decide for now, at least, to confiscate some things off of the mantle because I am going to be redoing that area. There's a very good chance that like more than half of this is not going to be used in the current project, but let's see what we can do with this variety of things. right, guys, so here's where I'm at so far. I'm gonna be honest, this has been kind of challenging, like a lot more challenging so far than working on the tablescape or even the altar, because again, I don't really know what I want to do with the space, and at least with the altar and the tablescape, I at least understood what the purpose was of those areas, so I knew the kind of things that sort of needed to be there. But I'm brand new to the whole concept of bar carts, and to be honest, I have never seen a bar cart on YouTube or on Pinterest or anything that fully embodied what I wanted to do or fully embodied my style. So I'm kind of making this up as I go along, and it kind of looks like a hodgepodge of maximalism, which is kind of where I'm at in life right now, so that's fine. But we'll see if all of this stuff ends up staying here once I've sort of filled in the lower things. So method to my madness, I like to start with height in the back of a space that's up against a wall anyway, or like if it were a table, the height would be in the middle. But then I'm gonna need to do like a mid-level thing that's much shorter, and then things that are just basically flat to the table. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from this to go do some digging. So there comes a point in pretty much every one of these videos when I'm looking for something and it's not where it used to be, because I've done a ton of reorganizing this year, and then I realize it's somewhere that's really annoying to get to, so it's time. We need to get in there, and not just in there, but all the way to the bottom. So this is what will eventually become an indoor gardening station here, and it's all just sitting on a pile of my gardening stuff. So these charger plates down here, I sometimes use them as the bases for large plant pots, but they can also be used in decorating arrangements. And my partner, bless his heart, helped me to organize in here, and he kind of realized that I was at a standstill, so he just started taking stuff that sort of looked like it belonged together and putting it into containers. And so this is what ended up happening, which is totally fine. These things happen. I'm grateful for the help. And one of my big goals for this year with organizing was to collect more clear containers. Because when you're a maximalist with all kinds of different projects and things like that, it is so important to be able to see where your stuff is, especially if you're like me and you're forgetful, or you've just reorganized everything and you don't know where stuff is going to end up. Clear containers are your best friend, so I know where it is. The hard part is going to be getting to it. All right, enough procrastinating. Let's get in here. That didn't end up being as hard as I was expecting it to. So I'm having another one of those moments. Like in the last video where I thought I found it, but it wasn't. These are actually just these ugly plastic ones, and I'm remembering now that the reason why they were in with the plant stuff is because these are not the ones that I like to use in decorating. I have a whole pile of the same metal ones that I used on my tablescape, and I'm realizing I have no freaking idea where I put them, so time for another quest. You guys, I am laughing at myself so hard right now. I was like racking my brain for a couple of minutes wondering where I could have possibly put those other metal charger plates. And then I remembered I did something with them. They're all whitewashed and on the walls of my bathroom. I don't know how I managed to forget that over the summer when I decorated my bathroom, I fully intended, and perhaps still intend, to actually put some artwork on this and have this sort of be like a frame. But yeah, they're all on the walls, so plan B. All right, I'm just gonna use the ugly plastic charger plate. They're only ugly in plastic to me because I'm spoiled, because I love these metal ones so much, but it's okay. It'll still have the same effect. guys, we did it. This one was definitely the most challenging, but I really like the way that it turned out. I didn't end up using my actual tea set because it just doesn't match. It's a lot of blues and whites, which is totally not what we're doing this year. We did blues and whites last year. So I just went with a hodgepodge of things that kind of together look like a tea set to just sort of represent that in the space. A few of these items will probably never actually stay here. For example, these cups I do tend to use either in the kitchen or for spell work, so those will probably not stay there forever, which is fine because this is a very, very busy space and it doesn't necessarily need everything that's on here. Full disclosure, behind the scenes decorating stuff for you, these oranges are real. And I'm probably not going to leave them out for too long because they'll go bad. I did make orange pomanders, which you'll see in an upcoming video, and the cloves tend to keep those fresher. But these ones would really just go to waste if I left them there, so they'll probably only be there for a couple of days. These fruit are fake, so they are perfect. This one is definitely not going to be here long. That's actually going to be shipped out to a customer soon. So yeah, these setups are allowed to shift and change and evolve. I just like to set them up and kind of see how they evolve throughout the season. This is actually a real acorn squash that has been used as decoration ever since I think September or October, but that's what's fun about winter squash is if you just keep an eye on it and make sure that it isn't getting soft on you, you can absolutely use them in decorating, and then if it seems like it's getting a little bit soft, you can just go ahead and cook them up and eat them or compost them. This thing was kind of a casualty. It came in a package with a bunch of real brass items, and so I cleaned it as if it was real brass, but it's actually totally fake. So I can't actually use this for food or anything, and it's all scratched up now, but it's cute for decoration. It looks like it kind of belongs there. This item isn't currently for sale, but it will eventually be for sale. I'm probably going to make a candle in that and put that up for sale. So yeah, this space will continue to evolve, but I love the way it looks right now. And as I shift and change, it can shift and change with me. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this. As always, we will finish the video with a lovely aesthetic tour of this magical Yule bar cart. Blessed be. Hey there, it's Future Fura here. As always, I'm here the next day adding more stuff because just like with all of my altars and tablescapes and bar carts, it always continues to evolve as I find more things or think of more things. So I'm adding a real pomegranate here for a little bit of that Hades and Persephone vibe that I really like for the darker seasons, as well as just throwing in some extra stuff that I decided would be cute. So if you haven't already, I invite you to check out this video right here where I'm doing the tablescape. See you there.